Hello and welcome to episode 21 of the What If South is Up podcast, where we talk about the ups and downs of creating worlds from scratch and all the misadventures we experience along the way. In a nutshell, how to wing it like an author. My name is Derrick Hall. I am the author and creator of the Crimson Prophecy series, of which 4 books are currently available on Amazon. And I am here with my co-host, Xtina, Why Won't It Just Work, Lefebvre.
Oh, ouch. Hi, I'm the foretold Xtina, and I'm in the middle of writing a book, building my first world, a parallel Earth where colonization never happened in the Americas, and I have changed my working title. It was Cogs and Arrows, and now it's Cogs and Claws, because I haven't added a single arrow, so it didn't make any sense.
No arrows in a steampunk book? What?
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 But why?
Why 4 is that? So, Derrick.
Xtina.
What are you drinking today?
Oh, well, I have multiple drinks at the moment, but the one that you want to know about is currently chilling in my freezer. But I went to an estate sale a little while ago and found one of those old, art whiskey bottles.
Yeah.
You know the old ones? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Bought it, thought it was cool, bought it, brought it home, didn't really think about it, and then my kid knocked it over the other day, and when I picked it up, I realized there was still liquor in it.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I am drinking 55-year-old bourbon tonight.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
This will be interesting.
It's real good.
Have you already had some?
I took it out of that bottle because the cork broke. So I ended up taking it out of the art bottle and putting it in a different bottle, filtered it and all that good stuff last night. And I took its little taste. And oh man, is it good. It ticks like a mule, but it's smooth.
I'm only a little jealous. Just like this much jealous.
Well, if that bottle survived since 68, I'm not going to drink it quickly. So
Wow.
I might still have some if you ever come see me.
If I ever go to Montana.
Yeah, Montucky.
Montucky?
Montucky.
I do have to go through there if I ever drive back home.
Hey, there's a plan. You take 90, don't you?
Yep.
You literally drive within sight of my house. I can hear the highway from my yard.
Damn. But what if we meet in person and I don't like you?
I doubt that's going to be a problem at this point. You're stuck with me anyways.
Oh, good.
We have created an enterprise.
We have.
Our fan would be disappointed if we broke up.
We have 7 of them now, I think.
Do we really have that many?
Well, let's see if I count all my friends.
2. Anyways, yeah, so that is what I am drinking as soon as I finish my beer.
Yeah, that sounds divine.
It's currently chilling in the fridge, getting good and cold over some whiskey stones with a little splash of water in it. It's good stuff.
Nice. Good stuff.
Yeah. Not every day I get 50-year-old bourbon.
I never have, and it's a little bit younger than me, and I still haven't.
Right. So what are you drinking?
Well, yesterday was my birthday.
Aww.
And
you survived, yay.
One of my bestest friends gave me a bottle of 100 proof Southern Comfort.
Oh.
So I'm drinking my 100 proof SoCo with a splash of orange cream seltzer and a trickle of grenadine just to make it more orange.
Yeah, there you go.
And with that being said, I want to say, hello, Laura, one of our fans. Me loves you and thanks you for the SoCo.
Yes, thank you for lubricating my co-host.
That just came out wrong.
No, it didn't.
Okay.
Have you ever had SoCo with orange bitters?
Yes, and
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So what are you reading or watching since our last episode?
Actually, what I've been reading is one of my friends' works. He's started a new urban fantasy thriller.
Ew.
And I've been reading that for him. He's a really great writer. He is just so friggin' smart. And I've been enjoying that. I'm not a thriller person, but I've been enjoying that. And I wish I could share more. I wish I could tell you the author and or title of his work, but it's all hush hush still. So that's what I've been reading.
Sworn to secrecy.
And yeah, that's kind of what we do for our reader friends. And what have I been watching? Let's see. I'm kind of just listening to the original CSI series. I'm not really watching it. I'm just, have it on in the background. And mostly I like it because I like the science that they, is one of the first, police procedurals to actually use real science and, feature the science over the killing things.
Real is questionable, but yes, it popularized forensic science.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, Holmes did first, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, so I've just been listening to that, and I've just been taking up a lot of my time, so I'm learning Spanish, so Duolingo has been played a lot in the last few weeks.
I did the Duolingo thing for German a few years ago, and it ate up way too much of my time.
Yeah, and I know it will. It's what happens when I do something new. It eats up a lot of the time, and then it'll peter out, or I'll stabilize. I'm in a BYOB Spanish class with what 5 friends, so we're gonna keep each other,
a BYOB Spanish class.
Yes.
Oh dear God, that sounds like a nightmare. But it also sounds really fun.
It's a reason for me to go.
Mm-hmm.
So, but, that's my life. What have you been reading or watching?
Well, I finished the first half of the new Witcher season.
Okay.
I haven't gotten to the second half yet. I think it dropped last week, so I'll be getting into that. Just been too busy to jump on it yet. And, I rewatched both Deadpool movies and Logan as inspirational research for Top Secret Project #1, which was fun. And I'm still reading Will White's Cradle because it never ends, and I'm slow.
It will end. You'll be
eventually
my age, but it'll end.
I read part of the newspaper. Do you want me to tell you that?
No.
I read my power bill.
Yeah, no depressing stories on this show.
No, that rules some of our friends out.
Some of them. What world-building problems have you encountered, perhaps even solved, since our last episode?
So you remember what I said about book 3 last episode?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, forget I mentioned that. No progress. Still stuck on the character problem from the last episode, but my more recent issues have been to do with Super Top Secret #1, and I can't talk about that, so I'm boring this week.
I think you're exciting. First of all, you're telling us, again, that you're working on a secret project. You're letting the listeners know that you can work on more than one thing at a time, and you're letting the readers know that it's okay. It's okay. They're both on your shelf. You might not be doing them simultaneously, but you're working on, they'll get done. Yeah, that's the way it works.
Yeah, they'll get done eventually.
They'll get done. Yeah.
Someday. What about you? What problems have you created or solved or encountered or run away from?
I'm more stuck on story level problems, not so much world building right now. I am working on a list of world things that I need to show within my prose, within the story. Trying to find where I can reveal these things without it being like info dumpy, right? But there are very specific things that I need to define, that I need the reader to understand, to see, for them to get a clear view of the world I'm trying to show. So I find that when I am doing my outlining or I'm just trying to write, sometimes I forget the reader doesn't know as much as I do.
Yeah, that's a common author problem right there.
Right. So I'm making a list right now of things that absolutely have to be shown, things that would be cool to show, right? It's, and just so I don't lose track of them.
Yep.
And then trying to get them put into the story, like I said, without a big, long info dumpy chapter. Just introduce them as they need to get introduced. But it's very important to me that certain things get shown, and I just need to figure out where I'm going to show those.
Yeah. And dialogue can be really useful for that. If you can't figure out how else to do it, just have somebody mention it.
Well, sure. I just can't have them mention it, 5 chapters before it needs to be mentioned. So
true.
And setting's important. I think it's really interesting that when you're doing the dialogue, that the characters are doing something, right? Walking along the trail, dancing with a partner, having an argument. There's got to be some movement there when you're doing that dialogue.
Yep.
So finding those moments.
Every spy movie ever has the dance scene at the big party where they're all figuring out the plan. So, yeah, it works. It's often done, but it works. My characters tend to walk and talk a lot.
As long as they're moving, right? As long as they're doing something.
Conversations are rarely static. In real life, conversations are rarely static. You're drinking coffee, you're eating dinner, you're going for a walk, you're driving somewhere, you're walking through the mall, you're doing whatever. Conversations are rarely static. So that's a good thing that most new authors don't really think about. But conversations are very rarely static.
Anyways,
anyhow,
moving on.
Yes. Why would we do that? No, we're not moving anywhere. I'm just going to digress for another hour. Every week, we like to share one sentence from our current works in progress. A single sentence, no context. And then we let you folks know if we're planning to keep it or if we have to watch our darling die. Xtina, are you ready?
Yes, but I'm cheating.
You're cheating?
I am cheating.
No cheaters here. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm taking applications for a new co-host. Rule number 1, you can't cheat.
Yeah, this is not from my current work in progress. This is from a piece that I wrote that I'd like to expand on when I'm done with my current project. But I thought I would change it up a little bit.
So it's not finished, and it's still on the roster. I think that counts as current enough.
Yeah, well, it was finished, but it's not fleshed out. So it was written as a what's it called, not a micro
flash fiction
story, but
short story,
flash fiction.
Yeah,
flash fiction, and I just want to write a big story about it. Anyways, here we go. The girl had learned that to look too interested would be rewarded with a slap across the face for being impudent, and she wasn't quite sure what being impudent meant, but she was sure she was guilty of it a lot.
I like that. Oh, that's funny. Depressing, but funny.
Yes, it's depressing, but funny. Yes, it gets the point across, but...
I'm a sucker for like dark humor, gallows humor, that sort of thing. So, yeah, I feel ya.
Yeah, I feel ya. Well, what you got?
I just pulled bourbon out of the fridge. Give me 1 second. I have a mini fridge under my desk. Don't judge me. It's usually full of liquor.
Hey, that's a quality I can admire. Folks, he is pausing to take a sip. He is sipping it slowly. He is enjoying the bourbon.
Oh, believe me, I made some awkward noises last night when I tasted this. That's the shit right there. Okay, sorry about that. But I digress. Bourbon is older than my mother. Let's see. Where were we? Darlings.
Darling, your darling.
My darling. All right. Status was nearly as important as actual currency among the elites of Ketran society, and, fortunately for them, currency could buy status.
That doesn't sound much different than what we have here.
Right.
That's a sweet line.
I like it. I don't know if it's going to stay or go, but...
Let's see.
Should I stay or should I go
So,
now?
how do you define capitalism in 22 words? Derrick just did.
Yeah. Hello. Which I didn't do it on purpose, but Sevendale is actually more of a socialistic society than a capitalist one.
Oh, that's nice.
Well,
I'm happy with that.
It is and it isn't. Like, I didn't do it on purpose, but that's just kind of how it turned out.
Uh-huh.
But, at least it's not a freaking feudal system.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. Medieval kingdom that's not feudal. What?
Huh?
What?
Now, you ready for this?
No.
On
never-
to the
I'm
point
never
of
ready.
our shoy.
What?
Let's do what people came here for. It's our favorite game.
Did they come here for that or to hear us ramble and get drunk? I'm not sure.
I'm covering all my bases, all of it.
Fair enough.
'Kay.
Fair enough.
Each week, we roll a d20. I'm sorry, for those of you that don't play games, that's a dice with 20 sides. Just wanted to mention it. So we roll a d20, which helps us randomly choose from our perpetual list of 20 scenarios. And then we talk about how that scenario would affect our made-up ad hoc worlds that we're currently working on. You ready for this, Derrick?
Am I? I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know.
I'm not. I dropped my die.
You dropped your die.
Son of a nutcracker.
Hello, everyone out there. I am looking for a new co-host that doesn't drop his die.
Hey, I have nerve issues, okay?
Touche, baby, touche.
Oh boy. Do we want to talk about aliens? Should we talk about aliens?
I love aliens.
Okay. Number 18. What if aliens landed in your main character's yard?
Well, I love this. I think if aliens landed in Anixa's yard, she would be all over that, baby. She'd be asking them questions. She'd be making them soup and some tea. She'd be rolling out those sleeping bags. You want to sleep here? I think that she'd really enjoy that. Yeah. I don't think it would. I think that she would find it fascinating, and I love how this question is adding to my character in a way I hadn't even considered, So,
would she though? Because she always seemed kind of hesitant around new things to me.
She's hesitant around going places because she was told that she's not allowed to leave. Okay? So it's not that she's afraid to go places, she's afraid to leave. Does that make sense?
So if the weird comes to her, it's cool. Have some tea.
And she's a total science nerd, geek, right? She's got posters of, she has Leonardo da Vinci posters up in her bedroom, and, if there was a Neil
deGrasse Tyson?
That guy. If there was a Neil deGrasse Tyson in her world, she would have posters of him up too.
I get
could
him
totally see her.
confused with, what's his name? Family Feud, dude.
You do not.
I do. Steve Harvey. I get them confused in my head. I do.
They're so different.
I know.
How?
I don't know. It just happened. Too much ancient whiskey, I guess.
And I don't think that the world. I think that the world would be a little bit upset, in general, because they're having to experience somebody coming, from somewhere else, so there'd be questions to answer.
Yeah.
But she personally would think it was a blast.
Well, your world, too, is used to people showing up from other worlds, so I don't think it would be that much of a stretch.
Well, there's a difference between them coming over through a planned portal and landing a UFO flying saucer in the yard. So I would think that Anisha is more of a Mulder, less a Scully. She'd be like all into that. X-Files reference.
Yes, I got the reference, although I haven't watched X-Files in at least 10 years.
Ditto.
It's been a long time.
Yep, ditto.
Yeah, I ought to do that. But do I really have the time to do that? Probably not.
It could go on the list.
I haven't managed to
be on the
finish
list.
Stargate, so...
I love Stargate.
Which one, though?
My favorite is Atlantis, but I love them all.
That's fair. I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not entirely sure what would happen in my world. There would be apprehension, and Inara, ever the budding diplomat, would probably treat it as if any random person walked into her city. But in her brain, she would still be a 17-year-old girl freaking the hell out, going, oh my God, I don't know what to do.
So I can see that because she's responsible for so many things. So it's not just about how she's going to react. It's all about how these people are going to affect her people, her world, her responsibilities.
Extremely delicate ecosystem.
That'd be very difficult.
Yeah, that's part of my problem with book 3 too, is just it's so delicate right now that I'm afraid I'm going to break it. So I have to be very careful what everybody does.
I hear you. Yeah. It's a real fear. Well, of course it's a real fear, but it is something to be serious and consider. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. So Sevendal's a very delicate ecosystem, as I said, and I think Inara would be worried about that, and she would be worried about the potential of, well, given the current situation, I think she would be worried about the potential of what if these people tried to take over, because they have technology we've never seen, they have weapons we've never seen, they have whatever, they're just really big and strong, whatever the case is. Yeah, okay, badass mage, but there's only one Inara. So,
that's real interesting because our characters have totally different perspectives on the world. Even at the end of my story, Anisha is not going to rule a world, right? She's not even going to rule a village.
No payoff.
There's something that's going to happen. I just don't want to give it away. But
I know.
Her worldview is totally different than Anisha's. Than Inara's.
Well, it's a matter of perspective too. Inara was raised by a single mother because her father died when she was very young and was poor. Her mom worked in a tavern. She sold flowers in the square and babysat the neighbors' kids, and that's how they survived until she was 15. And then all of a sudden, oh, hey, by the way, you're the heir to this really old empire. You're going to be a queen, and you should learn magic and learn how to use a sword and stuff because we're going to war. You coming?
Yeah.
So it's a massive perspective shift from which side of the square do I sell flowers on today to I need to figure this out because people are depending on me. That's a very big shift for somebody who's 15, and that's a very large departure from where Anisha is too. So
I will say that Anisha, in the story, she's going to learn that she's the person that can save Earth, not save the world, save the planet. But she's not in charge of the planet. She's not in charge of anybody.
Yeah.
She has no authority or
overworked and underpaid, man.
She just knows that the things that she does or will do will keep the planet alive.
Right.
Which is an interesting delineation between our characters.
It really is. They're kind of polar opposites in a way. They both have really big things on their backs, but still very different.
And I love this. I love how this idea that we came up with for this episode, this We have somebody from a different planet, obviously not of this world, obviously nothing we would know anything about, coming in and upsetting the perspective of our peoples and how they would react to something that they have absolutely no point of reference. I mean, from your point of view, from your world, they barely know other planets exist.
Yeah, they really don't. Like, their world is pretty well limited to one continent, and some nearby, like, islands or other continents, basically, where they can get to that one city or that one place. It's pretty isolated. So, yeah, I think the idea that there are other planets is a little beyond the average Ketran citizen.
Yeah. So it would be a huge, not only an internal world view twist, but an external world view twist. But what would it be like if you didn't even have the concept of other continents? You didn't have a concept that your continents were on a planet, and somebody from another planet shows up. This is why we must follow the Prime Directive.
I knew you were going to say that. I was about to say that. Damn it, you stole my line. Damn it, Jim. All right.
So, wait. Quick segue. Are you watching Strange New Worlds?
No.
Oh, my gosh. I got to tell you, this last episode was friggin' epic on so many levels. I can't even tell you. The world out there, you're listening, it's The Old Scientists is the name of the episode. Fucking fantastic. Sorry for my effing words. But anyways, going back to
I have
aliens,
a bleep for that.
I have a bleep for that.
I do. I have a folder with all of my editing, like, sound effects and stuff.
I want a T-shirt that says that. I have a bleep for that.
I can probably make that happen. Yeah, no, I have a folder with all of the sound effects for editing, the dice rolls and the opening music and all of that, and I have like 3 or 4 different versions of bleeps.
We talked about how we need to have merch. Okay,
we need merch.
We need to put that. We need to put that on our list of merch.
Who's gonna buy our merch?
I have a bleep. We said we're gonna do a show.
Oh.
We have to put on our list of merch. I have a bleep. There's a bleep for that. Yes, I'm putting it on our list. I'm making a list right now.
There's a bleep for that.
Yes, there's a bleep for that. Yes, I'm putting it there.
Oh, right, what is that one line? Hold on. I need to know something. I need to grab a book. Hold on. Let's see. There was one that I kind of really wanted on like a mug or something, but I need to find it. Oh, that's just lovely, Raven threw his arms in the air. How are we supposed to kill this fast-flying, fumigating f***er exactly? I love that line. I love it way too much. Fast-flying, fumigating f***er is what I wanted to put on a coffee mug.
Put it in the merch tab.
Alliteration for the win. And I don't even like alliteration that much. I don't like it, but I did it, and I love that line.
I love playing with words like that. I just love it.
I loved writing Raven.
Are we done talking about aliens?
Are we done talking about aliens?
I think they'd be cool in my world.
I think they'd be terrifying to Honora.
See? We're done.
And I think a lot of her staff would probably advise her to kill them.
Not a good idea.
Yeah, probably not. Well, that was fun. If you're a world builder, newbie or not, and would like to be on our show, we would love to have you. That includes all you Dungeons & Dragons, tabletop RPG, Pathfinder, whatever your poison, game masters, writers, authors, anyone who creates worlds. You can let us know by going to our website, whatifsouthisup.com, and leaving us a message, or you can reach us through our Facebook page.
Also, we're always interested in more what-if questions to add to our list. If you're building a world or have something interesting you would like to share, if you'd like to pose it to us and see how it plays out in our worlds, we'd love to hear from you. So, Mr. Derrick, where can people find you?
The great and powerful Derrick Hall can be found on my website at derrickallauthor.com, but you can also find me as D Hall Author on the currently neglected, unfortunately, clock app, and just about anywhere else. Also, keep an eye out for Top Secret Project number 1 in October.
Is it my turn now?
It is your turn. Where can we find you, Xtina?
Well, as soon as I pay for my bill, you can find me on uniquelyxtina.com. But everywhere else, you can still find me at Uniquely Xtina, including the Clock app and Facebook and Insta.
Yay.
Yay.
Thank you.
That was fun.
It was fun.
And we had a good time.
And I still have bourbon left. What are the odds?
And I still have SoCo left.
What are the odds?
Too much drinking. No, not enough drinking. Too much
Not
talking.
enough. Too much talking, not enough drinking. Yeah. Well, I also
Jim.
pounded a beer before I went for the whiskey, so that makes sense.
Yeah. Damn it, Jim. Watch
Damn
that Prime Directive, folks.
I'm giving her all she's got, Captain.
You didn't do that very well. Sorry, no.
No, I didn't.
Try to, yeah, no.
But giving her all she's got, Captain.
That's a little bit better. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
do Scottish. I don't do Scotty.
Okay. Granted, that's a good point. Good point.
Scottish and Scotty are different.
Yes, they are.
They're very different.
So is Scotch.
Yes. Different. Scotch is tasty. How about let's just say I do Simon Pegg's version of Scotty. How about that?
Okay. That's what's the word I'm looking for? Acceptable.
Acceptable. Oh, I see how you are, you freaking Star Trek snob. Everybody, we're leaving. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Damn it, Jim.